Hello and welcome to the Football Commentary Podcast, episode 4. We're back for another live version of the podcast. I've got 3 people again alongside me, the same 3 as the last episode. I've got Ben, Harvey, and Kenzie, who's maintained his spot in the podcast. We're looking out for a certain someone in the chat today if he comes back. I'd love to see him back, but we'll have to see. Today in the title it says we're going to be reviewing the use of VAR, which we will be doing, and talk about City's Champions League ban and how that may be resolved for City to not get a ban because they have a lot of money, so they could probably get away with it. But anyway, we're going to start with VAR being quite a debated topic in football in terms of how it's being used. In one word, how would you describe the use of VAR with using mild language?
Mediocre.
Shocking. Mackenzie, what are you thinking?
Shocking.
Mediocre. Ben, why'd you say mediocre? Because that's kind of like in the middle, kind of like it's alright, but not great.
Sometimes VAR really helps your side.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, sometimes VAR absolutely screws you over in the match. So
but
sometimes it's really useful, and then sometimes it's not.
But when you're getting screwed over, is that for the benefit of the game, though? Do you think? It's like, yes, your team's getting, you're getting on the bad side of it, but it's actually helping the game itself. Like come to the correct decision.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if the sideliners haven't seen something like a foul or something, obviously, if you check VAR,
but then
could get the foul, could not.
Yeah.
But if you get the foul and then end up scoring, obviously that's VAR.
Yeah.
Helping you for it. So
then it's like VAR overrules a decision, and then they don't get it right. I just don't get how they don't get it right. You've got all the cameras, all the angles in the world, and they just don't get it right.
And the thing is, sometimes they don't use the angle which is in line with the where, say if it was an offside, they don't use the angle where the bit was offside. They use it from a different angle.
You only get
therefore. So what's the point of having it if from an angle where it could be offside and then from a different angle it couldn't, but you'll never be able to see that angle. So what's the point of having it?
Yeah, and then sometimes they don't even draw the line of when the ball was kicked.
Yeah.
So that's like what people forget sometimes. Then they get all caught up in like were they on or off, but then you've actually got to check, wait, when was the ball kicked?
Yeah.
Because that's obviously how they rule offside. So I just everyone's so busy. Because I remember once this is in the Premier League, but in the Champions League, I don't want to sidetrack already, but I remember watching Ajax Chelsea, and at Ajax Stadium, and Ajax scored, and they ruled it out for offside, but when the ball was kicked, he was onside, but when they drew the line, the ball was like in the air. I'm like, how can you get that wrong?
How can they screw up that with the amount of tech they have? How can they
and the professionalism, and they're probably they're probably the highest skilled refs in the world, and then they can't even get right when the ball's kicked.
Yeah, and the highest, there's so many people monitoring what's actually happening.
Yeah, it's
it's just unbelievable sometimes.
Yeah, and going on to the Premier League as well, I want to. It was actually just before this lockdown all happened. The Everton United game at the end with that goal. That who scored it?
I can't remember.
Calvert-Lewin, I think. And then Sigurdsson was in the way, and then there's no Sigurdsson. Yeah, he's not getting in the way of De Gea's dive. De Gea can still see the ball, and it's not like Sigurdsson, touched the ball. So I just don't get. I don't understand how they can say that's offside, but then in other instances, in other games, that might have been. It's like there's no line of, what's allowed and what's not.
You know for certain what the answer is.
Yeah, it's like in different games you could get different reviews and different refs, and it's like they don't have a set right. If this happens, this is what the decision is. It's kind of like, all right, whatever happens in the game, we'll just find a way to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah.
Which
I think that they more likely ruled it off because of the sight. He was kind of blocking De Gea's sight of the
But
ball.
it wasn't because De Gea. When you look at De Gea's eyes, yeah, he was looking at the ball. Like he was looking. Sigurdsson was right next to him, right in front of him, and he was looking at the ball. And the ball's gone in fair and square. Yes, it was near the end of the game, but because you must have seen it when Calvert-Lewin's reaction when he watched it back.
Yeah.
Imagine being robbed like that.
It is a weird one, because that has never really happened. I've never seen that in football.
Yeah, in terms of a VAR decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's just never really happened.
Yeah, I saw it, and it's like, and I was like, right, if the VAR aren't sure how to officiate it or what to do, why don't you just send the actual ref to look at the monitor and just go,
yeah, that's the thing.
Let's see if this, what he thinks.
Lewis Peggy has
He's
arrived.
back. I don't believe it.
Why was Bruncey talking about drugged up teen in the last live episode? Not very professional. Well, mate.
Oh my god, I didn't think he'd be back. I didn't get. I can't believe he's back.
I was having a little sing-song at the start.
Right, let's pretend he's not there. Okay, let's try and pretend.
He's got 3 dislikes.
Oh, let's pretend he's. Well, we may know who they are of.
Yeah.
Oh man, right. Let's get back on it. Yeah, it's like I don't get why they don't use the screen on the side. It's like, why is it there if they're not going to use it? I don't understand it. It's like they're the people officiating the game. Why can't they go for a second look? I don't understand that.
There must be some sort of rule, surely, because all refs should at least check the monitor if they don't know. They should. I think there's some sort of rule where they can only check it if this happens or something like that.
But like, I couldn't.
There must be.
I could kind of agree if that was a rule, but it's never been used.
Yeah.
So what is the incident that needs to happen for it to be used? That'd be my argument. Like, what needs to happen for them to go? You know what? Whoever the referee.
Yeah, well,
just go and have a look.
In the Tottenham City game in the Champions League last year, the referee went over to the VAR, and he only got shown the angle where you couldn't really see if it's handball or not.
Yeah, it's like,
it's like the
from that perspective.
It's like the impact it has as well. Going back to the United and PSG game, if he didn't check that monitor, we were out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is true.
Sometimes, as I said at the start, sometimes it saves you.
Yeah, no, because
he was not going to check that by himself. He definitely got told in his headset.
Oh yeah, he would
and check that.
Yeah, they would have said, go and have a look. But with that, and this happens a lot in the Premier, what decisions they make, you don't even realise, you don't even see it when you're watching the game. Yeah. That's what annoys me about certain stuff. It's like when City got knocked out of the Champions League by Tottenham, that offside, that was just marginal. No one saw that. Not in real time. Yeah. Even the Tottenham players, they thought they'd just be knocked out in the last minute. So that's what was some of the big decisions. Some of the opposition players aren't even reacting. Thinking that they're going to get knocked out or something or lose the game, and then all of a sudden they've gone, oh right, we've just been given this lifeline of a VAR, and that's what I don't understand sometimes. It's like the most small things that no one would check, they're checking and ruling out goals and making games less exciting.
Oh, that's another thing. It does ruin the game. Because when you score a goal, you don't know if to celebrate or not. Because VAR,
that is so annoying. Yeah, that is actually the most annoying thing. I completely agree. Because I remember kind of moving over to the Women's World Cup last summer. We played in the semi-final against the USA, and we scored a goal. I think it was to make it either 1-1 or go 2-1 up. Basically either get back in the game at 1-1 or go ahead. And I remember watching it, and I did not celebrate. Because I thought, they're going to rule this out, or they're going to check something. Yeah. And then you lose that feeling of, when your team does score, you lose the feeling of, being able to celebrate and the excitement and the adrenaline you get from it. You lose that. No footballer should have to not celebrate because you think they're going to go to VAR. I think that's ridiculous. To lose that excitement. I did and many others do. And then, if you do celebrate, a massive goal, like the City Tottenham when we scored in the last minute. That offside didn't even come into my head. I celebrated, and all that, like all the City fans would have done, and I was, and then you just get taken down, just to rock bottom. It just, I don't even know how to explain the feeling of when a decision gets overturned like that. It's like it does take time to actually get over it. As ridiculous as it sounds, you kind of like go, "That's actually just happened. We've been nicked completely of something." But I was gonna say as well with the United one and PSG. It's like I remember like United, because remember it came off him and then it went for a corner, I think, and it's like everyone was getting set for the corner. Even United players were getting set for the corner, and then all of a sudden, you get the news that you could be heading through it. Because I remember FaceTiming you, Harvey, to show you the pen.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just like, I can't believe this, because you've gone from just being so close to getting there to basically it being given to you in a way with that handball. Because handballs, I think, are the most debated things in the Premier League. Like, what is handball?
That was a clear handball though. That took a clear deflection.
Yeah, but in the Champions League, if it hits, no matter where the hand is, if it hits them, it's handball.
It's a handball.
But with the Premier League, we've got like this. Well, if it's in this position, or if he's like that, or if he's not, like different perceptions. It's like we just need to come up with a clear rule of what is handball. Because we always say, oh, what about if it's in this position, or he's got his hands to his side, or face protection, all that. It's like, what is the rule for it?
The City game against Liverpool at Anfield, like at the start of the season, we was on the attack and then we tried crossing it in, and like I think Trent like
oh, that was a blatant handball.
Was that in the City Liverpool game? Or Liverpool City?
And then
oh my days, I was fuming.
Up the other end, and Fabinho scored and nothing got checked.
Just 1 second, Callum, with the face cams, I'm gonna try and get something done to get everyone else's on. Yeah, I will. I'm not sure yet. I'll figure something out. I just didn't want to ignore the question. But going back to the Liverpool City game, wasn't that 1-0 at the time? I think.
Yeah, it was 1-0 to Liverpool.
That's a massive decision in the game, and say if it kind of I don't even this is the rule of handball. I don't even know what's in name, but say if it kind of just stroked his hand maybe, but it fully blatantly hit his hand.
Yeah.
For everyone, that's what annoyed me the most with that one. It's like, and then that for me poses the question of, did they bottle it? Maybe.
I think they did.
On the big stage. We're at Liverpool with loads of Liverpool fans. If we give a decision against them, the whole stadium could turn. Which shouldn't be the facts, because that's just poor officiating. But I'm not saying anything, but City played better than Liverpool on that day in terms of football. We played quite well. Because if that happens, that handball, I think that changes the whole game for me, because we're in it again, and we don't have to feel like we're chasing a game. I think that's a big difference with a VAR as well. When you're say if you're losing, and then you don't get that goal or that penalty, it's like you're still chasing. It just feels worse in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we thought we'd done it and put all the effort in to get somewhere, and then we're having to restart again. Because it will knock mood to players, surely.
Yeah, completely.
Because, obviously fans, we get deflated by it, but imagine the players who actually have to play and get that result, and then they get robbed of it. It's like, kind of not fair on the players as well as much as the fans, for me. But we all know how the Premier League VAR is different to the Champions League, don't we? In terms of they pretty much send the referee to the monitor for nearly every decision, or every big decision that needs to be made. But I don't know, anyone can jump in and answer this, but would you like to see kind of how the Champions League use it in the Prem, or maybe take parts of it into the Premier League? Because I prefer the Champions League version of it. I think it's more effective.
I think the refs should all.
Go on, sorry.
I think the refs are just people through an AP, and it's. I think if the referee gets their decision, and because then players will go over to the ref like, oh, why have you said it's not handball? They can't say, they're like, oh well, I've been told.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually. When in the Prem, when players are asking the ref, is it handball? Why have you give this? Why have you give that? They can't really answer. Yeah. They kind of have to go, well, they've given me this reason, but I don't know myself.
I think it would be a good idea to if the opposition captain went to the VAR thing after they've made the decision to show them what's actually happened, so then they understand it more.
Yeah, because when
just the captain, though, not the whole team.
Oh yeah, and then the captain can explain what. Yeah, that's a good idea. That because, this is why I think the referee should go to the monitor as well more. Is they on a football pitch they should get the final decision all the time, not this random referee from Stockley Park who isn't even there has to decide. I feel like if they give that referee on the pitch enough angles and information, they should be able to make the right call by themselves. Yeah. And it won't. People are they're like they don't want to slow the game down or anything. These decisions should only take a minute or two. Yeah. That's not a lot of the game, and if that means we get more accurate decisions or more of a fair view of it, then I don't get why we don't do that. Because a lot of people are like, oh, we have to trust these people who aren't even reffing the game. So that would just take that away. It's like, well, right, if the on-field ref makes that decision, then we can't really argue with it. It's his decision in the end. So I think that's a good idea, that, especially to get the captains over as well. Because I know Connor Cody's came out and said after the Liverpool game when they got something disallowed, he went we don't get told anything. It's like they get no information of why the decision's been made or what's happened or what reasoning. So I think that's a good idea, that.
And I think even if on the screens in stadium, the people at Stockley Park are seeing how the fans on the pitch are getting the final saying.
So showing what they're doing in a way. It's literally what lines they're drawing and what. Yeah, that'd be interesting. That I'd like to see that. I'd just like to see the fans' reactions of when they're drawing that line across, and then the fans going, "No, the line shouldn't be there. It should be further back." But I feel like this is another question I want all you to answer this. Eventually, when VAR's been in the Premier League for a few years, do you eventually think it will be a positive thing for the game, or do you think
if they sort it out properly and
it'll just be a negative thing?
Yeah, I think
sort it out.
So do you think they can sort it out in a few years for it to become a positive thing, or do you think this is just a thing that might not be able to work in the English game?
I probably think they will sort it out and keep it, but it has to be very well done.
Yeah, because I feel like they're so fixated on the fact that they don't want VAR to ruin the pace of the game. It's it's kind of impossible. It's VAR is going to take chunks of the game out. There's no way it won't affect the speed of the game. That's what annoys me about it. It's I think they've got to come to the realisation of, look, yes, it might speed the game down, but that'll just give us better decisions and better outcomes. So, do we think it will? Does anyone think it would just be a negative thing? This is kind of an unfixable thing for the Premier League, or do we all think it's going to become a positive?
I don't think it will be. I think the positives. I think it would be really hard to nail it down for it to be perfect.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like this is something that won't ever be perfect. Not in a bad way. I think it's just impossible to get the exact right decision every time. Because I feel like they need to do something with offsides. Because offsides are ridiculous. Yeah. It's like a shoulder, like an inch of your shoulders offside.
It's like your little toe.
It's like ridiculous. It's it's just this is how much like because obviously when we didn't have VAR and we had to go off the linesman eye, they obviously gave the benefit of the doubt to the striker.
Mm.
So, if a little toe that mainly made the linesman's jobs a bit easier. But and sometimes you just can't see things with a naked eye. But I mean, like to give the full advantage to the defender, it's just that just makes decisions to make so much more difficult. It's like they're kind of doing it to themselves in a way. It's like if they just kept the rule of benefit the striker, half of these decisions wouldn't have even happened, or half these incidents wouldn't have even happened. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. Like they've gone to benefit the defender. Just a tiny bit that you can score a goal with, it's flagged offside. It's ruining my team using because half a centimetre of strike side. It's just silly.
And with the offsides as well, it's like they want to try and keep the pace of the game quick and don't want to slow it down. But then it's like, by trying to make these perfect decisions for offsides, that's what's taking the most time.
Yeah.
Like some of the decisions take like 3 minutes just to get an offside. It's like, it's like they're contradicting themselves all the time, and it's just that just can't work. We'll stick with VAR for a little bit, but I just want to say, anyone watching, if you've got any questions, any topics that you want to see us discuss, just put them now. And then if they interlink with anything we're talking about, we can always chuck them in, or at the end, we can discuss them. On VAR as well, especially in the Premier League. Obviously, they're all put in one room, aren't they? Like Stockley Park, especially the 3 o'clocks, kickoffs, and obviously, one of the arguments is obviously we've said this earlier. It's like one referee in one game might give a different decision.
Yeah.
Then another game is what about if in two games that go on at the same time, there's two offsides that are identical, one gives it one way and one gives it the other. I feel that's kind of a problem. It's like there's no ground rules for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you all, any ground rules you think could be brought in just to make it a bit easier, or just more understandable for the people.
Just more checking the monitor, really. The refs.
The refs have to. The refs have to have the final say.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
And it's not like these screens are miles away. They're literally on the side of the pitch.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. Say if it took them ages to get to the screen for some reason. It's sure, if they had to climb stairs into the stands, but they don't even have to do that. It's right next to them. So that would definitely be a ground rule for us. Just make sure the refs have the final say.
Yeah.
I agree with that one.
I think with offsides, unless it is a blatant offside, pretty much 90% of people it's offside. The ref said it's not, then VAR should be. It's still measures like a centimetre offside, and I think if the ref doesn't see it and it's not noticeable that it's offside, that'll.
And then with that, it's kind of with that offside, it's where do you draw the line with it? It's what is offside and then what is onside? Because if you're saying, this or a certain amount of the body can be offside, it's where do they draw the line? It's can, I don't know, this much be offside? Can, just a small amount? Because I just feel like the Premier League is making it hard for them. So it's also almost like they don't want it.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're trying to get it out. It's let's try and make this look as bad as possible so people don't want it, so we don't have to deal with it. Because sometimes I feel like the game would be so much easier without it.
Yeah.
Because obviously you always have these decisions that people are going to be how's he not these blatant mistakes from refs? But it's that's part of the game.
Yeah.
That's what the game's been about for however many years. And then obviously we try to bring in technology, especially for the English game, it's just not worked, really. But we'll end on VAR here, but I'll just have one question, so we'll just get a roundup. At this minute now, are we a fan of VAR? I'll go to Kenzie first.
No.
Not now, Harvey. At the minute.
No.
Ben.
No.
No, I'm not. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not a fan now, but like the potential that is in VAR for the future is okay. Like, if they can get it right, I think it'll be a good thing for the game.
Mm.
But I feel like in the next 5 years, if they still can't get it right and it's still the main thing we're debating, I feel like that's a time where it kind of maybe just like, you know what, this ain't working. So we need to get it on. Right, we'll move on to the second topic that we have for today's episode is City's UEFA ban. This was announced about 2 months ago, will we say? About around that time. UEFA pretty much banned City from European competition, including the Europa League and the Champions League for 2 seasons. Eyebrows were raised. 'Cause obviously City don't really look good when this is said.
Yeah.
But Kenzie, you are a City fan. What were your thoughts when you first saw the news?
Well, obviously it's a massive blow because of the players we've got at City. Like, they're all young players. They all want to play Champions League football. So if we've not got that Champions League football for the next 2 years, then most of the team will leave.
Or want to leave? Yeah.
It's not looking good.
No, and the thing is as well, it's not even like you know, like a year. A year you could probably take that, like a year.
Well,
get the season done and we can move on. It's like 2 seasons.
With the because obviously we're appealing it. I feel like we've done something wrong. Obviously, like
100%, something's gone on.
But because we've got the money and we're gonna get the top lawyers in the world and stuff like that. I think it'll get either narrowed down to 1 year, or we'll get like a couple of transfer window ban.
The thing is with UEFA, say if City give them an X amount of money for this ban not to go through, UEFA will definitely go, oh, go on then, give us that money and you can stay in, sure. But for City, I feel like, especially because with Guardiola as well, basically if you don't win the Champions League, with City, then you'll really get questioned. Because like, you can do it in all the leagues, but the Champions League seems to struggle with a little bit.
It's like as if you don't win the Champions League, it's a failure.
Yeah, which I find I kind of understand that in a way, but it's like, how can, like, what he's done at City, I just don't get how you can see just because he didn't win the Champions League is like a failure.
No,
it's like we literally in 17-18 we literally won the league with 100 points. That is ridiculous. Like, yeah, we didn't win the Champions League, but some of the stuff he's done is just amazing. Just to scrutinise the Champions League, I think. But what I want to say is, I'm going to ask Kenzie again because he's a City fan. I know you remember the first leg against Tottenham. You know, we got knocked out. I remember seeing the first leg when we got beat 1-0 for the Aguero penalty miss. Do you feel like kind of like Guardiola kind of bottled that a little bit, that game?
Yeah, I feel like
because he that was a weird game to watch.
Yeah, his mindset just like I feel like how we went into the game wasn't right at all.
Yeah, I agree. It's like
the way we set up, like I don't like our team, like injuries and stuff didn't help us, but I still feel like if Aguero scored that penalty, obviously we would have been through.
Yeah.
Well, no, wait.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we would have went through, but I don't know. I just feel like his mindset and like the tactics, I don't think they were right.
Yeah, because I remember looking at the lineup and went, that don't look right. It's kind of like, I wouldn't have put him there, and it's like that happened many times, like Monaco as well. I don't know what happened in that home leg. We just completely conceded 3 away goals. Like, you can't do that in the Champions League. If you concede 3 away goals, you're pretty much saying goodbye to the competition yourself.
You can do tactics like that against like teams like Tottenham and Monaco, but then he does something like Real Madrid the other week.
Yeah, absolute tactical masterclass.
That's what I mean. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, it's like we City in the Champions League. We don't like UEFA anyway. City fans, they don't like us. We don't like them. We boo the anthem every time. So what? It's just like us in the Champions League anyway. We don't get along anyway. It's like a team. It's like we're always like the favourites to win it, and then we always bottle it some way. And then the season after, we're favourites again, bottle it, favourites again. But it's like, I felt like this season might have been the season where, you know what, we could have actually done it. And then this happens, and then we get a ban. It's like, when will City win a Champions League, do we think? Will it ever happen? Obviously it'll happen, but like, it's got to happen soon, surely.
What, win the Champions League?
Yeah.
It's got to happen soon, considering the team you have and how powerful it is. I reckon it'll be very soon.
I think as well, a lot of the players that like kind of peaked a few seasons ago, like we're losing some of that. It's like Silva, he'll be going. That's a massive loss for City. I think all City fans really actually understand how good he is. Like everyone says, oh yeah, he's so underrated. Yeah, all that. But like, if you're a City fan, you actually know how much he means to so many City fans. Like what he does. So he'll be gone. You've got like Edison, who just hasn't been on it this season at all. Don't know what's happened to him, especially after January, kind of Christmas time. He's just gone off the boil a little bit. We just don't seem to have a centre back. Whatever the problem is with that. It's like we can't have any. We don't have any fit left backs that we can trust on consistently. It's like Mendy was only just coming back.
I think after the Wolves game, Mendy's up to his game. He's been playing really well after the Wolves game.
Yeah, well, he had to in a way.
Yeah,
because that Wolves performance was embarrassing. Yeah,
I think Fernandinho is going to be a massive loss because
he signed an extension actually. But when he goes,
in a couple of years, it's only 2 or 3 years left in him. But he's just so he can just play centre half and do a job there. He's helped much.
It's like you can just trust him anywhere. It's like I trust him more at the back than Otamendi and Stones, and they're actually centre backs.
I feel like Fernandinho is so underrated.
Massive, not just now. I think mainly now that's getting highlighted, but I feel like as well, like before, like when he's playing holding midfield, he didn't get the recognition because he just did the simple things. Everyone was like, it's kind of just ignored it. It's like, oh, he's not doing anything special. But then now he's in a kind of a limelight position in a way. Everyone's actually seeing the player he is, which I'm actually glad for because I think he's a really good player. But going back onto this ban, do we actually think it'll be a 2-year ban?
No.
Or do we think they will be able to shorten it somehow?
I reckon City will find a way to shorten.
Do we think maybe it will get gone completely, or do you think there will be maybe a year without it, or do you reckon they can actually get this ban completely wiped out?
I think you deserve at least something because you have technically done something against the rules. I think you deserve something, but
I think
I'm not sure.
I think the one personally, I think it'll be a year.
Because
I think we'll get a year out of it.
I think what UEFA kind of.
Too bad. I don't think a year will be too bad.
No, a year. I don't think it's anything really. But then
I think honestly, even Leroy Sané, I think he was going to leave anyway, so it doesn't make a difference to him. I don't know. I think a year, the majority of the team will stay.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's with a year. It's kind of like City can say that, but what UEFA kind of messed up with is City now are just going to throw every single team under the bus that they know may have breached similar rules or
I think,
broke
PSG.
Certain laws. Exactly.
That's
PSG.
what I think. Every single team, there's teams that have done it other than City. There's loads more teams that have done it other than City. People have got the money, but they're not gonna have the money there, needing to build the team and not spend it.
It's like this is. I feel like this is going to open a can of worms. So City will go, I know they've done this, and that. And he's like, you can't just wipe the whole, like, all the big teams out. So it's like, well, how do they even really kind of negotiate that in a way that not everyone kind of gets done with that? Because, like Kenzie said, there's definitely other teams who have done the same.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Completely.
But it's, I don't. It was just like City fans kind of knew about this before the ban. We always kind of knew something dodgy was going on or had, because there was always like little news leaks where like City have done this and paid that, and then this ban came and we're kind of like, oh no, they've actually like sussed us out here. It's kind of like, oh no, they know.
Wait, wasn't it like a guy from like Ukraine or something that's got
Yeah.
Yeah, he hacked into City's account, in the emails and stuff.
I think he got arrested. But
He got arrested, yeah, he's in jail.
Other teams are lucky because if he got arrested now, then a couple more teams could have got away with it.
Yeah.
Might be more of them out there though.
They definitely, you could be, for sure. But I feel like with City, with our relationship with UEFA, I feel like we were an easier target to go for. It's like they find us all the time anyway, even for the littlest things. So I feel like they were kind of like, you know what, if we're going to get rid of anyone first, let's get rid of City, because there's always been things like bubbling around the club to do with like finances and all that. So I kind of feel like they kind of pinpointed us.
I think we're the easier target because of the fans, we'd expect something like that off them.
Yeah.
So we take it better than any other team.
That's true. I just like my main question is just like, because like you said, there's definitely other teams who have done it.
Yeah.
It's like
100%.
firstly, how do they get sussed out? Because obviously you can't, do anything with someone who when there's no evidence, so you can't really, go, oh, they've done this without evidence. Like we're saying kind of now, like PSG, if we've got no evidence of it, we just think they've done it. Because there's got to be like an investigation maybe on other teams.
Yeah, there will be, definitely.
I think that's the only fair way to do it, really.
Yeah.
Because, City fans especially, all they want now is the Champions League. We couldn't really give one about the Prem. We care about the FA Cup and League Cup because we just like winning them every season. So, especially the League Cup, it's just a trophy to have.
If we go out of the Champions League for a season, I think that'll be like the season we just concentrate on the league, and because we'd have a heads up on everyone else.
I feel like how I feel like it's like when we get knocked out of the Champions League, it's like the season's over. It's like, oh, that's it now. The league's left again. Especially with this season as well. Say if that was to be the case, got knocked out, Liverpool are miles away. It's like there's nothing else to play for. So I feel like the Champions League are a big part of anyone's season, obviously. But for City especially the fact they've not won it, and that's the one thing literally every single fan wants, to take that away, it's like kind of like, oh, we've just got the league to play for again. So we've won that. And we've won it, convincingly, and we've done it by getting chased down. It's like, I don't want to see the same thing again, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. We don't know too much information on that, really, since we got announced. All we know is City appealed it. We don't really know much more than that. And obviously this lockdown happened, this big pandemic, and then obviously I kind of had to be put on hold. So we'll just have to see. We don't have enough information on that, but I'm going to just wrap this topic up because I want to get onto the debate section. And I'm going to go to all of you and what the consequence should be or how long the ban should be. So I want to start with Kenzie on this. How long do you think it will be? Not one. How long do you think the ban will be?
I think we'll get a 1-year ban.
Just a 1 year, so they'll reduce it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Harvey?
Yeah, I think 1 year.
Just a 1 year. And then Ben, same?
1 year, yeah, same.
Do you think it should be 2?
I think it depends on how much you've spent, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
And a bigger amount, then yeah, but...
Because that's why they might give it. They've kind of gone, look how much they've actually spent, and that's what they've gone, right, so that amount of money equates to 2-year ban. So, yeah, I can agree with that. I'd be very surprised if it sticks to a 2 year as well.
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised. But it's UEFA, so you don't know what they do. They could do anything. We don't know. Right. We're coming up to the 40-minute mark, and this part of the podcast normally takes about 10-15 minutes, so we'll move on to it now. It's my favourite part. It's a wee debate. I think it's great. I give the other three a question or a topic, and hopefully we'll get some disagreements going, and we'll debate, each other's opinion. I'm hoping we'll agree on this one, but we all know in like foreign leagues they have a winter break.
Yeah.
In England, should we have a winter break or should we not? Because obviously you get managers complaining about it all the time that we need one. But as fans, would you like a winter break?
Yeah.
For the players?
I wouldn't.
No,
because we've gone this far without one. I don't see why we would need one now.
Yeah, because obviously you've got to think about the players' safety. Because obviously I can see where people are coming from when they say, "Oh, let's have a winter break." Because obviously it stops the injuries.
Yeah.
It keeps your team fit and all that, which I completely agree with. But then, as a fan, it's like like those Boxing Day games, New Year's.
Right,
they are the best games. They're so good.
Yeah.
To go and see, and then it's kind of like part of the English like tradition and how we live. Yeah. The Christmas and New Year is football, and then for that to go, it would be kind of weird, in a way.
Yeah, just be no entertainment really.
Because obviously the managers, if I was a manager, I'd be the same. I'd want a break, because obviously this time of year can bring out the worst amount of injuries. It's like you play on like the 26th, the 28th, and then the 1st. Like 3 games in like a week. That is ridiculous for anyone, especially for top athletes. So, what arguments do you think there is for them for no winter break if you're looking at it from a FA point of view? Because obviously as fans we could say no entertainment. But what arguments do you think the FA can have to say, you know what, let's not have this winter break?
I don't actually think there is any argument.
There is none.
Because I don't know, like they're the people who rule it, aren't they? Like
yeah.
Obviously, they'll be a fan of what football club, any football club. So their perspective as a fan will be no break because they want to see the team play.
And then as well, you got to think about, all they'll think about is the money.
Yeah,
they'll be like, oh, we could lose this amount of money if we go for a break, which is quite selfish and quite bad. But at the same time, if they're looking at a business point of view, they'll want as many games as possible.
Respect that, because obviously they want more money to live.
And obviously the TV money as well would be ridiculous. Because like when it was this year, wasn't it, where like BT Sport took like all the New Year games. Like, that would have made a lot of money, that, for them, for sure. So, okay, right. I'll quickly go around. Winter break, yes or no? I'll go with Ben first. What are you saying? Winter break or not?
Wait, who did you say?
Ben.
Sorry.
Oh, mate.
Ben,
no winter break.
No winter break. Kenzie, what are you saying?
No winter break.
Are you going to stick with what you said, or are you going to?
I'm going to say no winter break, but less games.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So like,
it's
like take out that 28th of December game. I feel like it's like you play on Boxing Day. Can you not just give them? Yeah, I agree with that. So you wouldn't have a winter break, but you just have a less congested fixture list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Harvey on that one. I agree. Next one. Okay. Obviously we don't know what's gonna happen with the season, so I'm gonna talk about the next season, and the like table refreshes. Do we think teams like Wolves and Sheffield United actually have a shout at getting top 4? Or do we think that's a bit too much of a push for clubs like that? Anyone can jump in.
I think they could.
Top 4?
Sheffield.
Wait, is this if the season carries on?
No, this is if we have a clean season. Because obviously they're around about it now. There and around it now. But say if we had a complete refresh, do you think they could actually make the top four? Is that just too much of a ask?
There's a possibility, but more than likely, no.
More of like maybe Europa League? Maybe?
Yeah.
I think Wolves definitely.
Yeah,
I think Wolves.
It just depends because teams like Chelsea and Arsenal are just like not very consistent, are they? So if they drop out, then maybe one of them clubs can come in.
I think that's the main thing: consistency for them teams. So if they're just it's like when Leicester won the league.
Leicester won the league, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like all they had was consistency. They just won the games they had to, picked up points when they were struggling. So
and got rewarded for it.
Exactly. I feel like I really like Wolves' team in terms of like how it's built. I think the foundations of it, like the solid back three, the quick wing backs, you got one technical player in the midfield, and then you got Neves who just runs, wins the ball, can hit it, and then you got Traore, who for me is one of off his attributes, he's one of the best players in the league in terms of on his day and what he can bring.
I think it's mad because it's like they've gone down and had a proper rebuild. Now they're coming back up.
And how quickly they come back up.
Yeah.
In terms of they literally got promoted and then back up again.
I think Nuno has just rebuilt it really well.
Yeah, but I think he's brought in a new mentality as well. Of because obviously the Wolves were in the Prem for quite a while.
They've got a structure as well.
Yeah, a strong structure. Yeah.
So say if you're playing against City, just play 5 at the back. Just sit back and then Adama, how fast he is, boot it up.
You see,
he just runs.
Because
he's quicker. He's what I think he's the quickest in the Premier League.
He's got to be up there because when I see him, he's rapid. I've never seen you say Dan James is quick. I'd love a race between them two. I think that'd be a proper good race. Because even with the ball, he's still quick.
His arms are massive. He's not a small character. His arms are massive.
He's absolutely. Imagine running into him.
And then he's just running as quick as that, and you're like, how?
Yeah, for me, he's one of on his day. He's definitely one of the best players in the league for me. If he can, if he plays at his best, because he is unstoppable on many levels. The problem with Wolves is, and what has happened to many teams, do you think they'll get their team will just get ramsacked to their players, or do you think they'll actually be able to keep hold of their good players they've got?
Yeah, I think they'll be able to keep.
Because obviously there's a lot of teams, don't they, that have history of just not being able to keep hold of the players because the money's there.
Yeah, I think we were able to hold him and it. They were really good last season. Helping pick up in him.
I don't know about Traore. I don't know whether, because there's been talks of him going to other clubs, but I just don't think people. I think Wolves are asked for a big price tag, and I don't think people.
Because for clubs like that, I don't think money's much of an issue anymore. Maybe now after what's happened, I feel like the Wolves don't desperately need the money, and it's like even if they sell him 2 years later, they'll still get the same amount of money they would have got for him now, or maybe even more. So I feel like those clubs don't really need to rush selling their players, because it's like, why would we need to rush selling someone that doesn't need to go? Because I can't imagine Traore taking up much of the wage bill or anything that. You know what I mean? Say if they had players on big wages, then I could kind of get it. But it's they won't be on much. Those kind of players, unless they obviously get an increase in wages. So and Sheffield United as well. Just quickly go on to them because they've had an incredible season. You can't deny that. I feel like Champions League is a bit too far for them. I feel.
Yeah.
At the moment, yeah.
But then recently and especially this season, City was kind of found out for the way they play. So do you feel like Sheffield United, after a season or two, teams might actually be clocking on to how they play and go, right, this is the best way to stop it?
Well, Pep's style of play, everybody's clocking onto it now, and everyone's just I think that's why City have lost more games this season, because although we're still doing it in a style, and it's fast flowing football, people are recognising how it's getting played, and it's getting played every single game. That's why when we beat Real Madrid, we changed up the tactics, and it actually worked.
Yeah, that 4-4-2 that we played. I agree. I feel like for Sheffield United though as well, if they could somehow bring in some quality of players, I feel like if they could just maybe resolute like a Europa League spot for themselves and kind of keep that, I feel like they could build on that. Because I feel like that's what teams do too often these days. They try and do too far of a jump, and that actually leads to worse consequences.
I think if they bring in just a few signings as well, I think if they bring in too many, it'll come.
Oh yeah, because that's what you don't want to do. That bring in too many players and they have to adapt it. Because obviously the way they play is so unique. It's not something you can get your head around easily. So if they bring in two players, I think that's where they've got to be sensible more than anything. Sheffield United and teams like Wolves as well.
If they get that Europa League spot, they'll attract more big players.
That'll be massive for them.
If this season carries on, and they get that Europa League spot, I think that's when they'll start developing as a club.
Yeah, for sure. But as long as they just take little steps, don't rush it, I think they'll be okay. Maybe not top 4, but I'd definitely say top 6.
No.
Definitely top 6 for sure.
Maybe.
If they can get that. Right, we are hitting 50 minutes, so I am going to end the podcast part here. If anyone's got any questions or topics, leave them now. I'll wait until about 10:18, 10:19. If we don't have any, then I'll wrap it up. But any of you want to say anything? Any additional things on any of these topics, or have we said anything? I've said everything. Sorry.
We said everything.
Yeah.
I mean, is because I thought VAR being this, so it was given. So I thought that ultimately at the end of the season, they want VAR in Prem.
So, can you say that again? You were cutting out. Sorry.
All right. So I thought that VAR being tracked this year. Like, is it being and then choose whether or not it stays?
Ah, right. Yeah. Well, obviously, I think they'll have to review it anyway, and they'll obviously track it the whole way through and write down what's right, what's wrong, what happened in certain games. But it's like you can track it and review it all you want, right? But at the end of the day, people don't like it. It's easy, and it's not like it's hard. That's like, oh, that was a tough one or anything like that. Some of it's just like black and white. It's like, how did they not get that? Yeah. It's not like you don't need to like, track that. It's like you can see it.
Yeah.
There. So they'll definitely tracked it, but then it's got to a point in the season where they've kind of just gone, oh, it's kind of obvious where we're messing up here.
Yeah.
And then that's how they'll review it, I think. But they'll definitely track it, and I'll be interested at the end of the season when that is. Say at the end, like tomorrow. I'll be very interested to see the stats on like how many they've overruled and all that.
It's like you can't, because people last season goals outside and but then it's whether you disown, then what happens. That gets can't really with it.
Yeah, and it's like these like. Sometimes, especially, I was interested to see what would have happened at the end of the season. But like some of these decisions could easily cost a team like a promotion or not promotion, sorry, like a Champions League or a relegation. I feel like the relegation would be more closer. So I would have been interested to see, if any of our decisions may have relegated anyone. I feel like that would have been really interesting, but we'll have to wait till next season.
About the coronavirus, the pandemic in Scotland.
Oh, Scotland. Yeah, they're having
Inverness.
Yeah.
Down. They had a game. And they would have won the game. They stayed up.
Yeah, Scotland have had an absolute mare of how they've dealt with it. Oh man, it's like who's in Inverness? Yeah, was it them who had the game in hand?
Someone like that. Yeah.
It's like, how can you do that? Because you never know what could have happened in that game.
Yeah.
They cannot say, oh yeah, they would have lost that game. It's like,
No, yeah.
if they knew that game in Get Hand was going to determine if they were going to get relegated, how can you they would absolutely fight for everything.
Yeah.
And then they're I don't even know, Scott, because I know Gerrard has come out, hasn't he, saying that they need to basically they basically need to stop balling it and just actually do something.
He's right. He's right.
Yeah, he's definitely right. Because I've not heard much from Scotland. Well, we've had quite relative good updates by the Premier League of what's going on.
Yeah.
But I've not heard anything from Scotland. So
No.
I don't even know what's going on with them. But we will end it here. Good 55 minutes. If you enjoyed, subscribe for the next one. The next one's going to be uploaded Tuesday. And then the next, hopefully we'll have another live this time next week for what will be episode 6. But hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, check Ben's channel out because I'm on a lot of his videos.
Cheers, bro.
I'll link it after the stream's done because I forgot to do it at the start. It's Bruntsy anyway with 2 eyes. So make sure you check that out. Subscribe over there as well. And hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you hopefully for the next podcast, which is on Tuesday. So thanks for watching, and see you later.
Ciao.
I like that.
No,
You did it, man.
I'll say-
You did it, man. I did yours.